clearly outplayed tonight in essentially every phase of this, and we were behind the chains. It seemed like we never could grasp any consistency on the mound. We found ourselves down. Never did I feel like we were completely out of it, and then they tacked on some of those runs late, and it was hard to overcome that momentum. But their starting pitcher, I don't know what his highest pitch count this year was, but I wouldn't think it's 95 pitches or whatever he just did. Our inability to recognize the changeup and the slider, like he kept it down, and you tip your hat. Like, you have to be effective with the secondary pitches, and they were out of the zone, and we continued to chase and couldn't really ratchet any sense of when to take it or how to take it or what to do with it. Max, you could see, like, mid part of the game, our guys, you had some good at-bats, and then all of a sudden Max hits the ball, good adjustment, and hit the changeup out, and you're kind of back into it. But we just could not get out of our own way, it seemed like, on the mound. It was the poorest execution I've seen out of our group this year, really starting from pitch one of the game. And we need those guys to perform, and we've seen essentially all of them help us. It was not in the cards, and every one of the guys Mercer ran out there, executed, and just flat out outdid us tonight. I thought the crowd was fantastic. It's disappointing that people had to watch us play that way, and that's 2 years in a row they've come down and played a beautiful game. They're an experienced team. They know what they're doing. They've got a variety of arms. There were some arm actions in there that were unique and effective, and they played a really good game.
When you have a Thursday to Saturday series coming up after that, how much do you have to kind of change the usage of the arms and not wanting to extend it?
A lot. And this was tricky, and I tried to completely wipe the thought of all the packing, and we're loading up in the bus and pack this and put this on the locker room is, this is tricky, and we're leaving at 7:30 in the morning. That's not an excuse for the performance, but it is a factor when you move things up. Now, when you get down there and you're playing the Thursday night game and it's going to be exciting, it's good. Right now, it's difficult. So every phase of your rhythm is a little bit different, including like managing how much you let some of those guys throw, knowing what you're staring at, and coming off the doubleheader, you play 18 innings. I don't know that there was carryover from just the length and the kind of the grind of that a few days ago, but it's hard to wrap my mind around how this group that has played so aggressively all year, it felt like we were on our heels. And I know when you're down, it can feel that way, but the at-bats don't know what the score is, and the ball doesn't know. You have to go try to cultivate the ability to string a few good at-bats together, and all of a sudden it might be 6-2 or 6-3, and it just stretched beyond what we were able to ratchet back in tonight.
Following up on that, with that quick turnaround, you liked what you saw at the at-bats against Boston College, and then season-high 14 strikeouts tonight. How do you kind of get these guys to flush that out? What do you do in such a short time frame to turn around?
I don't really want them to flush that out right now. Like, it was the locker room, that was tough, what we just went through in the locker room. And there's so much that we have to do tonight. I didn't ask them to go into right field. That was just me trying to help them, because I know what the night, and when we're back in that locker room at 7:15 in the morning, I was just trying to help them a little bit. But I don't really want them to flush that right now, because you will be in that situation where something that you saw tonight, change up, slider, guys keeping the ball down under the zone, it's going to happen again. And can Miles make that adjustment? Can some of the other guys in that lineup, can BJ, can Brody, can Cal, can we kind of start to piece some of these tough moments together? So you can't forget this if you're going to learn and grow. It's awful. Like, this is a miserable feeling I have right now. I can't tell you how tough, but I need to learn from it too, because whatever I did today, and I hope it's not the traveling trip and all this stuff, like, I didn't do a good enough job preparing that group to go compete today.
Were there some pitch clock confusion, disagreements you had there?
Their starting pitcher worked so quickly. Like, he was on it, and this clock brings all, we saw it all weekend. It brings nuances to the game that are not norms. And there were times he was so aggressive and quick into the windup that if you're hitting and you might actually be looking, are you fully engaged and in a position to actually defend yourself and hit? Those are new things that you have to sort out. So I think that's probably what you're referring to. But he was in such a rhythm and so quick, and it almost got quicker. And that's part of his game. Like, he did a good job using that part of his game. Whether some of the guys were fully prepared to engage and hit is where my question lies.
Peyton didn't have kind of the same feel that maybe you're used to seeing him, just what you see in his second start.
I saw a little better velocity, and he punched out a lefty and a righty with the slider, and he got Kamaka to start the game, I think, and then he got a lefty a little later. But in between some of that, you're trying to figure out how you could be so behind in the counts, and it really wasn't just him. But that was obviously not how we wanted this to go for him. When Mike is calling the pitches, when you're not really commanding anything, it's hard to sequence and think through pitches. I think there were times, and I can't say that this has been the case often, where we were almost hunting for strikes, and Mercer did a good job of laying off some of the pitches that were borderline or out of the zone. They didn't chase a lot. But I thought Peyton, like, mechanically and like velocity and stuff was okay. The command clearly just not good enough tonight. I can't explain it. We had not seen that from him ever. And he's only been out there, what, 3? Is this the 4th time? The 3rd? This is the 4th time. Yeah, so we're still in the infancy stage of it, but that wasn't what we needed.
Do you guys have any clarity on Evan?
He's trying to decide. He's got some options, and he's trying to decide what he wants to do. So, no, I mean, this is not an overnight thing. So it's down the road, and you could see what his role stabilized for us in the middle of the week. If that's his role, and he had lengthened those things out, it was nice. So we'll figure it out, but he's got a road ahead of him here.
Travel plans with P.J. Gibson. He wants to practice football, wants to play for you guys. How have you kind of work that out?
Well, he's playing baseball right now, and we've talked with the football staff, and he's in the equation for us. And we constantly talk about what's right. And right now, him being here and engaging in this is the right thing for him. Now, there may be a time when he needs to learn some of the installs and some of the things. You have a new offensive coordinator and new positional coach, and there's things he clearly needs to learn over there. But he'll get to that, and he's fighting his tail off out here to compete at this. So there aren't many guys that can even think through that sort of conversation, but he can. All right, guys.
Thanks,